So in the last video, I showed you my interview with JD and Candace Goding, but I also told you that there was more to their story than I actually included. So this video is the bonus content for the Godings, because you can't have a good Goding interview without hearing some crazy God stories. So the first story is an update on their work in Pakistan, which we've heard about a couple times from JD now when they've been back visiting us. And then the second story is just like a cool God-provided story. So enjoy this bonus content from the Godings.
There's a video that we've made. It's at bringinghiskingdom.com. If you want to go there, it just kind of reveals the life of the brick slaves and has some testimonies there. But what's happened there because of COVID is they've actually shut the brick factories. And when they shut the brick factories, that means these people that are living in complete poverty they don't have anything. And so we've raised about $4,000 so far, and we've sent it over to them just to feed them, not to free them. The goal is to free them eventually, but our friends in Pakistan calling us and telling us that they are. There's a lot of hopelessness. There's a lot of suicide. There's a lot of big problems, and so we don't know when Pakistan will release their, kind of release the grip from COVID. But we're in the middle of raising money for that. But our goal is to see 100 families released from slavery, bought out of slavery by the end of this year. Can I share a cool God story? So in 2013, I bought a motorcycle in Australia, and it was a great bike. It was a 2007 Honda Shadow 750, and it was a great bike. But as I was walking into the church we were attending, the Lord tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, why don't you give that bike to the pastor?" And I was like, "Oh man." But I was like, all right, gotta hold it like this. And so I ended up going to the pastor's house and dropping the keys off. Okay, so I was able to give the bike away. Fast forward to November of this last year, November of 19. We're sitting in 1 Corinthians class, and one of the applications that the guy that was teaching, who's a good friend of mine, one of the things the book talks about is the collection of the saints. And so he made a point. He called me up to the front of the classroom, and he kind of told that story. And he proceeded to hand me an envelope, and in the envelope was $8,000. And he said he pulled this money from himself, and then some of our, and we've been friends for years, close friends from America and Australia, and like they all donated. And he goes, "This is for you to buy a motorcycle." But the problem is I was staring down the debt of basically $20,000 for a visa bill with insurance and visa required. And so I said, when someone gives you something like for a bike, it's like, well, you can't spend it on something else. You have to go buy a bike. So that was Friday. Saturday, I found a bike. I bought it, just moved quickly. And then Sunday, I got on the road and I went to another wildlife base, and I was teaching that week on Bible overview. So we walked from Genesis to Revelation in a week. And at the end of that week, the school leader came up and said, "Hey, is there anything that you need?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, I need wisdom, because there's a bunch of problems that were going on around us that we just needed to figure out. And I need $20,000 for a visa the bills come due in January. And so I said, so I need 20 grand.
Our overseas visa to stay here.
Yeah, our overseas visa to stay here is 20 grand. So they came around me, and the whole school stood up and stood around and put their hands on me and prayed for me. And then I'm putting my books away, right? Putting my books in my bag. This one student comes up to me. He's 19 years old. He goes, how much did you say you needed? I said, it's about 20,000, 19 and change. We had paid a little bit of it, but it was like 19 and change, 20 grand, whatever. And he goes, "Oh, he kind of looks at me and he goes, I have 18. He said, what are you saying? He said, I have $18,000 I want to give to you. He goes, I want it to go to something eternal. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so it took about a week and kind of like convincing a Canadian bank to send money to an Australian account happened. But in the course of that week, the 18,000 Canadian turned over to it was $50 over what we actually needed to pay off our visa. And so God literally paid off our visa through the most incredible way.